Certainly, we've done a number of sensitization sessions in the past. However, we recognize that this came primarily with projects. So the education and sensitization has been sporadic in a sense. As of this year, however, we did make a conscious decision to have public education and public sensitization around all of the hazards that St. Lucia is prone to, not just the hydromet hazards. We recognize that persons are very familiar with the hydrological hazards. Persons know what to do for hurricanes. There's a lot of discourse in the public around hurricanes and hurricane preparedness, but it's less so with the geological hazards and other man-made hazards. So this year we actually commenced in earnest with a partnership with the Seismic Research Center, and we observed Earth Science Week this week, the 17th of October to the 21st of October. We planned a number of sensitization activities, and we targeted particular stakeholders. So on Monday, we started off with a session with the teachers. We looked at the education sector, and that was very important for us because we want to ensure that the teachers are able to pass on the accurate information to the students. We targeted teachers who are involved in teaching the earth sciences because we thought that was a natural fit in terms of passing on the message as it relates to risk reduction, as it relates to preparedness for the geohazards, and we're focusing primarily on earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruption. As you know, St. Lucia has a volcanic center in Soufrière. On Monday afternoon, we also looked at the persons involved in disaster management. Then we targeted engineers because we recognize they also play a critical role in terms of risk reduction initiatives for earthquakes in particular. And tsunamis and volcanic eruptions as well in terms of how you design buildings, how you build infrastructure. We also looked at persons in the tourism sector. We looked at school children, and we had on one of the sessions, we just had a public session that targeted members of the public. That one was also very well received. Persons had a lot of questions. Persons wanted to know why the region was a little more seismically active. Persons wanted to know whether we were really due for a big one and when would that be. And it was very, very interesting to engage persons directly from the Seismic Research Center to answer those questions. I have to say, to really thank the SRC because we had a team of 4 persons from the SRC, experts in their own field. We had a volcanologist, seismologist, we had persons from the public education unit as well as the instrumentation engineer. So they were able to answer a lot of the questions that persons had. We have, I need to say as well, the Ministry of Education as of earlier this year employed an individual as a school safety coordinator. Actually, he was employed with the ministry, but he assumed the role of school safety coordinator. That is important because we recognize that we need to have plans for all of our schools, but that we need to ensure that the school children are very versed with issues pertaining to risk reduction and issues pertaining to disaster management. In that regard, this gentleman is not only responsible for looking at how we educate persons on those hazards, but also as it relates to the physical plant, which is the school itself, and how these can be designed in terms of layout and in terms of equipment to make sure that they can respond adequately, but also that they can prepare. So as part of that, what we're looking at is to ensure that somehow issues of risk reduction, particular to the geohazards, particular to tsunami, is infused into the curriculum. We are also looking at it from the point of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. Last year, there was a disaster risk reduction in higher education forum held in St. Lucia. And coming out of that, there's been discussion with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College as to how the school safety curriculum can be incorporated in the curriculum of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. And of course, as I said, we're not only focusing on one particular hazard, but we will be looking at other hazards, including tsunamis.